I act like
Good morning, everybody.
Over here?
If you get everybody to take a seat, we'll get the service started. Welcome you to the Sunday service of the People's Church of Divine Prophecy. Thank you for taking time to be here today. I'd like to ask Paulie to light the candles symbolizing unity of body, mind, and spirit and start the service. Quick housekeeping rule, put your cell phones on silent unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel, please. Please stand for the invocation, remain standing for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for this moment here today. May we feel all that is here for us today. May we find all that we have come seeking. And will we take time to have kindness for those around us? Amen. Next portion is a thought for the day from the pastor. You know, I woke up the other day and said, how the heck did I ever get in the position I'm in now? And you ever look at that and look around and go, what the heck's going on? And then you begin to kind of reel back the last few days and, well, let's see, I didn't do my meditation and prayer about half of the days this week, and had some unkind thoughts about people I shouldn't have, and got a little upset with some of the things I shouldn't have had, and wasn't real grateful for what I had, so that might have a little bit to do with it, you know. And you just kind of got to get yourself back on track and start doing your meditations and prayer again. Because, you know, all in all, I have a pretty good life. I mean, I got my health. I'm in my mid-60s. And no serious issues. Haven't had any serious issues in quite a while. Nice house, nice family. I mean, as long as you got all that, you should be pretty happy about your life. Everything else just kind of, you can take or leave. If you're kind of if you're on the fritz like I've been for the last few days over small things, when something big happens to you, you really got a problem. So it's always good to do a short stop, a self-check on the small things, and keep the small things from turning into big things, or keep the small things from being there when the big things happen. I remember a saying when I was in an alcohol recovery program, I had one that I always think about when times like that happen to me. After a few days of being in it takes me a few days to get my head out of where it shouldn't be. They say, if your world looks dark and stinks, you probably got your head somewhere where it don't belong. So just, you know, do self-check on yourself, look around the world, and, you know, you change what you see and what you perceive. The world stays pretty much the same. It's how you receive it, how you look at it, and what you make of it that's before you. There's a singer that sang a song, Alyssa Nurse, I think her name was. She said, it ain't getting what you want, it's wanting what you got. So it just didn't mean you shouldn't aspire to get better or more, but it means deal with what's in front of you before you reach out for more. So I ask you to think about these things, and thank you for listening. Please stand for the next hymn.
Let's do hymn number 11 in gold pages. Peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river. I got peace like a river in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean. I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got
Next portion of the service is the spiritual healing, and I'd like to have Lorraine and Marty do healing today. The way this works is during the meditation, which Askin's going to do, you'll hear a chime like this. That means that a healing chair has come vacant. There's chairs in the back as well as chairs up here, so I'd ask you to go to the back first, and we'll move you forward when it's your turn. Asking will be doing the meditation. We'll start this by reading the prayer for spiritual healing on the back of the hymnal in bold. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. Those that would like to have healing can move over, take the chairs here.
Good morning. Let's get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit. Feet straight on the floor, palms up in your lap. And close your eyes. Take in a few deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. With your exhale, just release and let go if there is any tension in your physical body. If you are experiencing any pain. With your exhale, just breathe it out. Let go of the thoughts that are on your mind. If you have any worries, any concerns at this time, again, just breathe it out and let it go for now. Bring your awareness to your breath. Feel the motion of your breath. Engage with the mechanism of your breath. Feel all the thoughts disappearing. Becoming empty. Just follow your breath. As you inhale, feel the breath spreading, flourishing throughout your entire body. Feel your breath taking you deeper within yourself, connecting with your inner world. That feels calm and quiet. There are no thoughts, no interruptions. Connect with this space that is within. Connect your breath with this peaceful space and feel it. And repeat to yourself gently, I am at peace within and without. Feel the peaceful sensations flowing along with your breath. I am at peace within and without. Connect the rhythm of your breath to the peacefulness that is within. Feel the peacefulness within you. Expanding from your inner world to the external world. As you become aware of your surroundings. Connect your peaceful breath with your surroundings. See this peaceful breath as a form of energy extending. Envision your home environment, your house, your family. Feel this peaceful breath, the peaceful energy, filling your entire house. Embracing your family members. Feel this peaceful energy extending to your work environment. See the flow. Filling your work environment. Embracing your co-workers. Feel the peacefulness as you act and interact with others. See this peaceful energy extending even further out and expanding to the entire world, reaching humanity. Follow the motion of this peaceful energy. See this energy embracing Mother Earth. Nature, the mountains. Feel yourself flowing with this peaceful energy, touching and integrating the peaceful vibrations everywhere you reach. surrounding the ocean, the plants, the animals. As it moves gently, creates peace within the earth atmosphere, within the consciousness of humanity. Feel your breath connecting with everything and everyone. Breathe your peaceful breath. Feel everything breathing with you as one breath. The breath of God. Create this peaceful vision. Envision Mother Earth around you, and with all the resources and surroundings, humanity everywhere, holding hands with peace and harmony. Create your vision. See Mother Earth in a beautiful, enlightened, enriched place, peaceful place. Allow your vision to expand. Create the tapestry of the beautiful earth, the beautiful sunshine. And feel the peace, the peaceful energy that is flowing everywhere. Hold this vision in your consciousness. Know that you have the power to create, manifest and materialize your thoughts, your intentions, your actions. Hold your intentions for peace, unity, love, and harmony. Let peace prevail on earth. Let peace prevail on earth. Be the instrument for peace. By holding these peaceful vibrations and the intentions that serves the highest good for the goodness of all, humanity and Mother Earth. Be the peace that you are, wherever you are. Speak the peace. With these peaceful vibrations, sink deep into your consciousness. For this is your birthright, your divine presence. Integrate those peaceful vibrations to this physical reality. And share it wherever you are with each other. Feel your peaceful breath. Bringing you back slowly to this room, to where you're sitting. Just integrate to those peaceful vibrations as you become aware of your physical senses. Become aware of your physical body. And let this peace ride within you. Come back to the here and now. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank Ashton and the healers for that wonderful portion of the service. Please stand for the next hymn.
Let's do hymn number 9, the Gold Cages, Off Our Way.
Portion of the service is the inspirational lecture. Today we have Reverend Jonella Bachman here to do a talk. She is a very accomplished person throughout her life. She's a 3-time cancer survivor, 2-time cancer. I'm not predicting anything, so 2-time cancer survivor. She's a mother, a grandmother, successful business owner of several businesses, and a licensed building contractor. So she's got quite a few feathers in her cap, and she's here today to give us some experience of her profession as a medium and healer for about last, 15, 20 years, and share that with us here today. So please welcome Reverend Jonella Bachman.
Good morning.
Morning.
It's always so exciting when I first get to come up here because I watch some of you come in, but then I take my seat on the front and I start getting ready for whatever I'm going to get ready for. And then by the time I get up here, you've filled all the seats. And I get up here and see new faces and new smiles and new beginnings. It's really exciting today to be with you because I'm going to touch base just for a minute on what Steve brought to you a while ago. I'm going to talk to you about forks in the road today and decisions and choices. And we're not going to make it real heavy. If you've been here before, you know me. I probably won't do that. But exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today, and somehow it always works that way. Before I come, Steve and I don't talk. I see it on the calendar. He puts it out. He hopes I'll show. I hope I'll get here in time. It kind of just comes together. But the truth is, almost every time I come, what Steve is talking about is what I've prepared for you. And that's just your universe at work for you. It ends up that where Steve has been coming from in the last few days is exactly what we need to think about. We are here for each other. One of my favorite things to say to my children is, give it away. Give it away. If you don't like what life's offering you, go give it away. Leave what you have going on behind and go find someone that needs you more than you do. And that's exactly what we're in it for. Not to put another responsibility on you, but to simply tell you that Steve is here in all of his clutter. Steve is here giving it back to you. And in turn, that's filling somehow his soul. And you can do the same thing too. When you are in that slump, promise me, there's always somebody else that needs you to reach your hand out. And if you can't be around people, we all have those little moments in time. Sometimes they turn into big ones where you just please the world go away. Give it to your cat or your dog. Just give it to the universe. Give it back to your garden. Give it away. And it somehow will fill your own soul. I think that was one of God's plans. When I started preparing and talking about forks in the road, we all have them. I'm sure the minute that I said that to you this morning about decisions and choices and forks, you started thinking about your own little journey. The truth is, we all have them. I'd be really remiss if I didn't talk to you about Yogi Berra. Yogi Berra said, if you come to a fork in the road, take it. Okay, I can do that. Alice in Wonderland came to a fork in the road. Which road do I take? She said. Where do you want to go? Responded the Cheshire Cat. I don't know, Alice responded. Then, said the cat, it doesn't really matter. You have to have a map. Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz was always asking for a little help as she came to a fork in the road. The Scarecrow and the Lion and the Tin Man all helped her with that. And sometimes in your most quiet moments, don't you wonder, what if I had taken that fork instead of this fork? And where would my life have been if I had made that decision instead of this one? Choices. Life offers us common choices. Who should I marry? How many kids should I have? Should I have children at all? Should I accept that job offer? Should I follow the inspiration and the suggestion of the next person that just came at me? And don't each of these decisions along the way bear their own forks in the road? Just about the time you think you've figured out where life's journey is going to take you, and maybe even why you were meant to be on that road, sometimes doesn't a new fork in your road show up? He failed in business in 31. He was defeated for state legislator in 32. He tried another business in 33. It failed. His fiancée died in 35. He had a nervous breakdown in 36. In 43, he ran for Congress and was defeated. He tried again in 48 and was defeated again. He tried running for the Senate in 55. He lost. The next year, he ran for vice president and lost. In 59, he ran for the Senate again and was defeated. In 1860, the man who signed his name A. Lincoln became the 16th president of your United States. Don't you know, at each of those failures, that became a fork in the road for him? What makes us continue? What makes us take the road that is charged up and takes us to our destiny? How many, my little life is like a tree branch. It feels like there were so many forks. C.S. Lewis said, failures are the finger posts in the road to achievement. I believe that one of the most difficult struggles we have as humanoids is how society around us constantly wants to tell us what failures we are. Even our friends and relatives, unwittingly, of course, and sometimes even our children. I mean, they know everything until they're 40, and then they decide that you might have known something. It takes everything we have to reach that sense of security that says we can achieve anything in life that we want to achieve. It's that special perspective that makes us drive forward to the next accomplishment without carrying the baggage of our past failures. I hate that word. They're really challenges, and you have to look at them as challenges. Some of us are better at that than others are. Our culture, where we grew up, how we think, what our parents taught us. Sometimes we do grow up knowing that we're that priceless little being that can be anything in life. And you meet them all the time. You meet those confident people. Somewhere in that confident people, they need you to hold them up too. They're just walking around with their own little set of challenges. But some of us are better at pursuing our dreams and at getting there from here than others. If we don't have the opportunity to pick up that attitude when we're young, sometimes that can last a lifetime, where we're constantly battling that next little challenge in our path and saying, I'm somebody, I can do this. We always have those darned expectations of the other people around us. No wonder it seems so difficult sometimes to find the right fork in the road and not have to backpedal. Bob Mowat, in his book, Whatever It Takes, says, anybody can quit. It's exactly what your adversaries and competitors want you to do. And there's always a legitimate excuse. But have faith, hang in there. Stay in touch with your dream and your commitment. Remember that your resources are always far deeper and far greater than you imagine them to be. You've gotten yourself this far. Deep down, you've got what it takes to go the distance. That particular statement may sound like I'm talking to those of you that have a project going on, or a big work plan, but the truth is, it fits all of us. I'm not. I'm talking about life. I'm talking about my own life, whether it was my parenting life, my work life, my health life, my quiet journey of life. All of those parts, I still have to create the vision of what I want that part of my life to be, so someone else doesn't step up and make it what they think my life should be, or they don't use me as part of their own vision. when I closed my shop in Palm Coast, almost 2 years ago now, 1.5 years, I guess, ago. Oh my gosh, I had met in 7 years so many people, and I loved all of them as they walked through the door. That was really great. I don't know if any of you have seen Raising Arizona, but there's a scene in Raising Arizona when he goes off and he gets one of these 7 babies, because she doesn't need that many babies, and his wife sends him off to get that baby, and he comes back once without the baby, and she sends him right back to get that baby again. And he comes back with one of those 7 babies and puts that baby in her arm, and she says, "I love him so much." She just met this baby. She didn't struggle to have this baby. She loved him immediately. We laugh at me because I can meet a perfect stranger on the street, and that's how I really feel about people. So it's kind of exciting as I go through life. I have to make sure that I don't make everyone my best friend. But when I closed the shop, all of these new best friends that I had made over 7 years were so excited, because now Jonella had all this free time and we could just play. I had to disappoint more than one of those people in order to recreate my own journey. And sometimes it was even my husband. Not for our personal life, of course, but immediately, I think it was like a light switch went on for everybody in the universe, said, okay, let's get Jonella. And even David couldn't help it. David would say, you need to accomplish this today. I can see this happening and this happening and this happening. It had nothing to do with my list. And so sometimes I had to just hang on to that, because even though he loved me, he wanted me to move forward. He had the same big dreams that I had. I still had to do it in my own path and my own journey. Albert Einstein said, at least once a day, allow yourself the freedom to think and dream for yourself. And to follow that up, Robert Percival said, most of us are so busy doing what we think we have to do that we do not think about what we really want to do. It's difficult sometimes in the readings that I give. It's really interesting because I'll sit with somebody and you can just tell that they haven't thought about themselves for a very, very, very long time, and that they don't really know how to create their own little day, or create their own journey, or create their own dreams. And the universe sometimes can't see their light because they aren't turning it on. They aren't opening themselves to all they can be. I feel like this stuff is so important. I'm choosing to share some of these authors with you today, not because I can't stand up here and think on my own 2 feet, but more because they more quickly can get you to my vision of what I'm trying to say to you. And I believe it's important that we lean on each other, that we learn from each other, and that we learn from these people that have sat and put pen to paper and thought it out, have taken the time in the middle of making the coffee, feeding the cat, turning off the stove, turning off the electric, going to work, doing the same thing all over again tomorrow. They've taken time to sit and think about it. And who am I to not pay attention to some of these other people that will take in their lifetime some of the thoughts that I need to have and make them mature. So I don't mean to make so many quotes, but the truth is I think it's so valuable as we're on our personal growth for us to seek the wisdom of others. And when you find that wisdom that you resonate with, then you can take that paragraph or that statement or that whatever, and you can spread it into your own why. You can develop it at that point. Michael Ray King is a new author that is a friend of mine, and in his book, Love's Lost and Found, he wrote, rivers of the soul, so uncharted, so neglected, so foolishly stigmatized over the eons. Dare anyone to challenge them, to do more than inspect and judge them? They challenge everyone to explore more than themselves, to see more than they can be, to hear, smell, touch more than is possible in our world of labels and names and brands on life. These rivers of the soul that Mike talks about are to me one of the most exciting yet comforting places for me to be. Just bring me the next challenge, show me the next road trip, and introduce me to the next question and all of the possible forks in the road it might bring me. I'll make every effort to stay calm and still in the midst of it all, believing that chaos creates productivity. The choices we make in life are living, breathing entities. Depending on the perception of each choice and the energy we put into that perception. They guide us through both the universal gifts of challenges and encouragements and the personally created ones. Forks in the road can come out of nowhere. For the next few minutes, give into the reality that all of your choices brought you to this place today. All of your forks, all of your choices. They've led you to the people you know, the opportunities and challenges that are placed in your current fence, and new forks that haven't even come your way yet. The acceptance of that reality is freedom. A short story for you. Friday, I went to a leads group here, a business leads group here in Daytona Beach. And a friend of mine came up to me and she said, "What'd you think of Frank?" And I had to think for a minute. I only met Frank one time. And finally we got to who we were talking about. And I said, yeah, he's dynamic. I hope he does well. He's opening a new business, has opened a new business, and he takes care of people's homes when they're gone. He'll put up your hurricane shutters. He'll make sure the yard stays clean and healthy and all of that part. It ends up that this gentleman spent 18 years raising his children, and his wife had a career. You don't meet many men like that in your life. He was quite interesting, actually. But at the end of the 18 years of the youngest 18-year person that he had homeschooled, they went off to college, and here he is, like any housewife. He's stuck and needs to know what to do next. So he opened this business where he watches people's homes. In our conversation, I learned that it was costing him money to open his business. Surprise! David and I have opened lots of businesses. We know about it costing you money. He was spending money on business cards and signs for the car, and brochures, and going here and going there and having to do his PR and whatever it took, he was having to do that. His wife started kicking a little bit when he said that he wanted to buy some shirts with his logo on it. They're not free, they're rather expensive, but it ends up that her statement to him was, I'm doing all of the work and you're doing all of the spending. It was fair. He thought that was fair too. So just in a moment of Jonella, I said, well, you know, so I just got a new embroidery machine about 1.5 years ago, and I've been putting my husband's name of his business on his shirts, and if you'll trust me to do a couple of those shirts for you and not be mad if I mess them up, I'll be glad in your logo colors to just embroider the name of your business on 2 or 3 shirts. Oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Here I am, I've met a strange man, and I'm offering to do services that I'm really not skilled at. It's just fun, my new machine. I took the story home to David, and the first thing David said to me is, I need to start going to more meetings with you so you're not meeting strange men and making offers. And I'm like, okay. But the truth was, I really did key. As my friend and I made this discussion of his story, we realized it was perfectly relative to what I was going to talk about today. We don't always see why we choose to do or say the things we choose. Who knows, she pointed out, where that one small act of kindness might go. It may be that I'll just be encouraging him for the rest of his born days to just pay it forward. But you never know what you have done. We all also see global acts of kindness that just stand out of the most innocent of things. As any good modern speechwriter would do, I turned to Google about forks in the road. I learned some interesting facts and thought I'd just share them with you just for encouragement. Bill Gates failed in his first business. Albert Einstein didn't speak until he was 4 years old and was deemed lazy with his head in the clouds. Jim Carrey used to be homeless. Bethany Hamilton had her arm bitten off at the shoulder by a shark when she was 13 years old. The following year, she went on to win a national surfing championship. Benjamin Franklin dropped out of school when he was 10 years old. Richard Branson has dyslexia. Stephen King's first novel was rejected 30 times. His wife pulled it out of the trash and said, "They don't like it the way it is. Fix it." And he did. Vincent van Gogh only sold one painting in his lifetime. And President Franklin Roosevelt became partially paralyzed at age 39. All of these people are just like you and me. We might not find ourselves on the cover of People magazine, but I can guarantee you that the person that you're coming in contact next in your life, in your daily walk, needs you like we need some of these people to inspire us. Embrace your challenges, embrace your opportunities, and embrace your next fork in the road. I'm going to leave you with one of my personal forks in the road. When I was 29 years old, I had the opportunity to manage a motel in Boone, North Carolina. This was when Boone was quaint. I loved living in Boone. It was sweet. The people were trying to make their town go. I was young and energetic and could be a part of that. I loved living in Boone. There were some hard times there that were really meant for another presentation. I was in Boone 2 years. At the end of 2 years, I knew it was time for me to leave Boone. I had no home. I was the manager there. I had a manager's apartment. I had no specific location where to go. So in my prayers and my meditation, what I came up with was, okay, God, here we go. I'm going to go visit my friends. All my friends that had come to me for 2 years, I'm going to go see them. They were in every state between here and Boone, North Carolina, everywhere you could think of. My job at that time, as I saw it, was to pass out 5 resumes a day. God, you decide where you want me. I'll pass out 5 resumes a day. Sure enough, I landed in Daytona Beach. My best friend at the time lived in Daytona Beach. I landed here. I started passing out resumes. I ended up managing the El Caribe Motel on Daytona Beach. It didn't have the tower at the time. It was 123 units right on the beach. 29 years old, living on the beach, little manager's apartment, managing a big step from what I had managed before. It's a great story. But 4 years into managing that motel, I met my magic David. We dated for less than a year, and then we created a 30-year marriage. You have to trust the universe. You have to. And that example in my life has really helped me, of course, over the last 30 years. But if you don't have an example that's big and in your face, use my example for you. The truth is, it's there. Just trust that next fork in the road. There were heartaches and tears along the way. God will figure it out if you can just keep being available for His plan for your life. The next fork in the road might just be one that you could never have imagined. Take care of each other. I'll see you next time.